What if I told you that a simple nutrient, taken at the right time just before sleep, could drastically slow down, even reverse age muscle loss? It might sound like a small detail, something easy to overlook. But for millions of adults over 60, what you do in the hour before bed is silently deciding whether your muscles continue to serve you or quietly fade away. And science is now uncovering that one specific evening habit can either accelerate sarcopenia, the age decline of muscle mass, or dramatically fight it off. Let's be clear, this isn't just about strength. Muscle is your metabolic currency. It stabilizes your blood sugar. It supports your joints. It even sends hormonal signals that impact your brain health, emotional regulation, and immune system. Yet, starting around age 50, most people begin losing up to 1% of muscle mass per year unless they intervene. And here's the shocking part. Much of this loss doesn't happen while we're awake, but while we're asleep. That's right. Your body either rebuilds muscle or breaks it down overnight, depending on what you've done or neglected before bed. Here's what the research shows. During sleep, your body enters a state of anabolic resistance, meaning it becomes less efficient at rebuilding muscle from protein. But certain nutrients and behavioral habits can counteract this resistance, reactivating your body's ability to rebuild, repair, and grow muscle while you rest. This is where most people, even those who eat well and exercise, fall short. They fail to time their intake of specific amino acids, proteins, and recovery-enhancing micronutrients, and as a result, they wake up weaker than the night before. In this episode, we're going to break it all down. Why muscle loss accelerates after 60 and how to stop it, the overlooked role of sleep muscle wasting, the bedtime nutrient most seniors are missing, specific food sources and timing that actually rebuild muscle while you sleep, and the nighttime habit that may be sabotaging your gains, even if you think you're doing everything else right. We're not talking about hype or magic pills. We're talking about real, actionable neuroscience and physiology translated into tools you can use tonight. Let's begin. Most people assume that muscle loss happens gradually throughout the day, maybe because they skipped a workout, didn't eat enough protein, or spent too much time sitting. While all of that plays a role, there's a hidden window when muscle breakdown quietly accelerates, and it's not during the day. It's during sleep. This may seem counterintuitive. After all, we think of sleep as the time when the body rests, repairs, and recovers. And that's true, but only if the conditions are right. If they're not, the body enters what scientists call a catabolic state, a condition where tissue, including muscle, is broken down to provide energy and raw materials. Let's break this down. Your body operates on a natural circadian rhythm, a roughly 24-hour cycle that influences hormones, digestion, and tissue regeneration. One of the most important transitions happens at night, especially after you fall asleep. Growth hormone levels spike during the first few hours of deep sleep. And this spike is what stimulates muscle repair and protein synthesis. But here's the key, that spike can only build muscle if your body has the raw materials it needs, amino acids from protein. In younger adults, even if they go to bed without eating much, their muscles remain relatively responsive to that growth signal. But in older adults, especially after 60, the muscles become less sensitive to growth hormone and less efficient at absorbing and using amino acids. This is known as anabolic resistance. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed protein right before bed had greater muscle protein synthesis overnight than those who didn't. The researchers concluded that pre-sleep protein intake effectively stimulates overnight muscle protein accretion in older men. In other words, eating the right type of protein before bed helps your body build muscle while you sleep, even if your baseline sensitivity is lower. Here's where it gets more specific. During overnight fasting, the 7 to 9 hours we're asleep and not eating, blood levels of amino acids drop. If you haven't consumed enough protein before bed, your body begins breaking down muscle tissue to meet its needs. It's like a bank account with no deposits. Eventually, you start spending your savings. But by consuming certain nutrients just before sleep, you can switch your body from a catabolic state, breaking down muscle, into an anabolic state, building and preserving muscle. Think of it like this. Your muscles are like a construction site. Sleep is the time when the workers come out to repair and build. But if you haven't delivered the bricks, amino acids, beforehand, the workers stand around doing nothing. Or worse, they start tearing down what's already been built to scavenge supplies. This shift from catabolic to anabolic is particularly critical for older adults because the muscle building response is weaker to begin with. You need to supply more and time it better than someone in their 20s. So what can you do? A simple science-based strategy is to consume 30-40 grams of high-quality protein, ideally slow digesting about 30-60 minutes before bed. This provides a steady stream of amino acids throughout the night and significantly reduces muscle degradation. We'll talk more about what kind of protein to choose in part 2, including one type that's uniquely effective for overnight repair. But for now, the key insight is this. Most muscle loss in seniors happens while they're sleeping, and the right bedtime nutrition can flip that script entirely. Let's talk about the specific nutrient your muscles need before sleep, the one that can significantly reduce nighttime muscle loss, especially in people over 60. The nutrient is casein protein. Unlike whey protein, which is digested quickly and floods your bloodstream with amino acids in about 30-60 minutes, casein is a slow-release protein. It digests over several hours, providing a steady stream of essential amino acids, especially leucine, throughout the night. Why is this so important for older adults? Because, as we explored in part 1, your muscles become anabolically resistant as you age. They don't respond as strongly to the muscle-building signals of protein and exercise. So you need two things: more of the right amino acids and a longer delivery window, especially overnight when muscle repair happens. In a 2012 study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise, researchers gave older men 40 grams of casein protein before bed. The results showed a significant increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who consumed a non-protein placebo. The protein was digested, absorbed, and used for muscle rebuilding during sleep, proving that the body is capable of using protein at night if it's available. This is where timing and type matter deeply. Tool you can apply: consume 30-40 grams of casein protein about 30 minutes before bed. You can find this in casein-based protein powders, low-fat, cottage cheese, which is naturally high in casein, Greek yogurt, especially the full-fat or strained kind. For example, 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese provides about 25 grams of casein, along with tryptophan, an amino acid that supports better sleep by boosting serotonin and melatonin. Why not just use whey? Whey is still useful, especially post-workout during the day, but its rapid digestion makes it less effective for overnight repair. Think of whey as a sprint and casein as a marathon. You want the marathon overnight. And here's something empowering. This simple practice doesn't just slow muscle loss, it can actually stimulate muscle growth, even in people who aren't doing heavy resistance training. In another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2015, elderly participants who consumed protein at night gained more lean mass over time, even with moderate exercise. Let's put this into real-life context. Imagine you're 68 years old, you've been losing strength slowly over the past few years, stairs feel harder, your arms tire quicker, you eat fairly well, maybe even go on daily walks. But by not consuming protein before bed, you've been missing the most critical window for muscle preservation. Now imagine you begin drinking a casein protein shake or eating a cup of cottage cheese 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Within weeks, you're giving your body the fuel it needs to build back strength while you sleep, your metabolism improves, your stability and energy increase, you feel younger, not from willpower, but from biology working with you. And if you're wondering whether it's too late, it's not. Muscle is highly adaptable at any age, and the combination of casein protein before bed and even light resistance exercise during the day can reverse years of sarcopenia. One more thing, if this insight is helping you and you're interested in more science-based tools to strengthen your body and mind after 60, consider subscribing. We dive deep into research-backed strategies every week, and your journey towards strength and longevity deserves the best guidance possible. Let's shift gears and talk about a silent saboteur, the bedtime habits that feel harmless, even comforting, but may be accelerating muscle loss without you realizing it. Many older adults reach for something small before bed, a bowl of cereal, a slice of toast, a piece of fruit, maybe even some herbal tea with honey. The logic seems sound: a light snack to prevent nighttime hunger or help wind down. But here's the problem. These foods are mostly carbohydrates and low in high-quality protein. Now, carbohydrates aren't bad in and of themselves. In fact, carbs can help trigger serotonin and promote relaxation before sleep. But when they displace protein, especially in your final meal of the day, they set you up for overnight muscle breakdown. Here's why. Your body needs amino acids, the building blocks of protein, to maintain and rebuild muscle tissue. If your final meal or snack is high in carbs and low in protein, you enter the night without sufficient circulating amino acids. During the 7-9 hour overnight fast, your body doesn't have what it needs to repair tissue, so it starts drawing from internal sources, primarily your own muscle. A 2013 study published in Clinical Nutrition showed that the last meal of the day plays a disproportionately large role in determining overnight muscle protein synthesis. When that final meal is low in protein, the body spends the night in a catabolic state, breaking down muscle to maintain blood glucose and support essential functions. Unfortunately, many common bedtime snacks fall into this trap: a banana or apple, crackers or toast, cereal with milk, herbal tea with sugar or honey, even light desserts like low-fat pudding or rice cakes. These foods may be gentle on the stomach or emotionally comforting, but they're also nearly devoid of the nutrients your muscles crave during sleep. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed feeling weaker or more fatigued after a night when you ate light or high carb before bed? That's not just aging, it's biology responding to poor nutrient timing. A simple science-backed tool you can apply: if you do want a small snack before bed, make it a protein-first choice, ideally with slow digesting qualities. Here are better alternatives: Greek yogurt with chia seeds, cottage cheese with ground flax or a few walnuts, Casein protein shake, boiled eggs with a few berries, a slice of turkey or chicken rolled with avocado. These options deliver not only high-quality protein, but also healthy fats that further slow digestion, meaning your body receives a steady supply of amino acids all night long. Here's the encouraging truth. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet. Just replacing one evening habit, your last meal, can change the trajectory of your muscle health. Over weeks and months, this can translate to stronger legs, better balance, and a slower rate of physical decline. And the science is clear. Overnight, muscle protein synthesis is highly sensitive to what you eat before bed. Skip the carbs and sugar and prioritize the foods that fuel muscle regeneration. One more insight: late night sweets, even in small amounts, can spike blood sugar and disrupt deep sleep, the very stage where growth hormone is released. That means not only are your muscles undernourished, but your sleep is shallower, your recovery poorer, and your aging process slightly faster every night. So next time you reach for a snack at 9 or 10 p.m., pause. Ask yourself, is this feeding my muscles or depleting them? That single shift in awareness is the beginning of transformation. Now that we've seen how common bedtime snacks fall short and sometimes sabotage muscle preservation, let's pivot to one of the most effective tools we have to support overnight muscle repair: slow digesting proteins. You can think of slow-release proteins as your nighttime insurance policy. They're digested slowly and absorbed steadily, delivering amino acids to your bloodstream over a 6 to 8 hour period, exactly the window in which your body is working hardest to rebuild tissue, balance hormones, and recover from daily stress. The champion of slow-release proteins is casein, and we touched on this earlier, but let's go deeper. Casein has a unique property. When it enters the stomach, it forms a gel-like substance, which slows gastric emptying. This means the amino acids are released gradually into your bloodstream, keeping plasma levels elevated throughout the night. Compare that to whey protein. It spikes amino acids within 60 to 90 minutes, then rapidly declines. That's great during the day, especially after a workout, but at night, that fast spike followed by a sharp decline leaves your body without sufficient nutrients in the second half of your sleep, when growth hormone peaks and deep repair occur. Here's what the research shows. In a landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2012, participants who consumed 40 grams of casein before sleep experienced significantly higher muscle protein synthesis rates than those who didn't. Even more interesting, their muscle strength and size improved over 12 weeks when this bedtime protocol was combined with moderate exercise. But here's what's especially encouraging for seniors. Casein overrides age anabolic resistance better than many other proteins. In a 2018 study from Maastricht University, older adults who consumed casein before bed showed muscle-building responses nearly equal to younger subjects, as long as the dose was adequate, 30-40 grams. So what are your best sources of slow-release protein? Practical tools to apply. Here are 3 nighttime strategies that support overnight recovery. Casein protein powder. Mix with water or milk, dairy or fortified plant-based. Look for unflavored or low-sugar varieties. Aim for 30 to 40 grams, consumed 30-60 minutes before sleep. Cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. 1 cup of cottage cheese provides 25 grams of mostly casein protein. Add a few chopped nuts or flax seeds to slow absorption further and stabilize blood sugar. Turkey or tofu snack, for those preferring whole food sources. 2-3 ounces of lean turkey or firm tofu offer slow digesting protein plus tryptophan, helpful for sleep onset. And don't overlook timing. Studies suggest that consuming protein within 1 hour of bedtime yields the strongest results. That's when your body is preparing for repair, your circadian rhythm is shifting, melatonin is rising, and growth hormone will soon follow. Let me offer you a simple nightly protocol. 8:30 p.m., light walk or stretching to promote blood flow and insulin sensitivity. 9 o'clock p.m., prepare and consume your slow digesting protein of choice. 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m., lights dimmed, screens off. Transition to sleep. This kind of habit chain, movement, fuel, wind down, triggers neurochemical alignment for both muscle preservation and sleep quality. You're signaling to your body, now is the time to repair. And if you've been getting value from this, consider subscribing. We unpack practical science like this every week to help you protect your body and brain without guesswork, gimmicks, or overwhelm. So far, we've focused on protein and timing, both essential. But there's another piece of the puzzle that many people overlook, especially after 60. Micronutrients that support muscle repair, hormonal balance, and sleep depth. One of the most important is magnesium. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the human body, but 3 stand out when it comes to preserving and rebuilding muscle. It calms the nervous system, helping the brain transition into deep restorative sleep. It regulates muscle contractions and relaxations, reducing cramps and tension that often increase with age. It supports testosterone and IGF-1 levels, both of which play key roles in muscle maintenance, even in older adults. The problem? Studies suggest that more than 50% of older adults are deficient in magnesium, especially those taking certain medications like diuretics or proton pump inhibitors, or those who have reduced absorption due to aging gut function. Now, let's connect this to nighttime muscle loss. Sleep is when your parasympathetic nervous system takes over. It's the rest and rebuild mode. But if magnesium is low, your nervous system stays slightly more alert. Cortisol, your stress hormone, may stay elevated and growth hormone output may be reduced. You might sleep, but not deeply. And deep sleep is when muscle repair is most active. Here's what the research shows. In a randomized clinical trial published in Journal of Research in Medical Sciences, 2012, older adults who took magnesium supplements for 8 weeks showed significantly improved sleep quality, increased serum melatonin, and reduced cortisol. But there's more. They also had better physical performance scores. Another study in Biological Trace Element Research, 2013, found that higher magnesium intake was associated with greater muscle mass and strength in older men and women. The effect was modest but consistent and compounded over time. Tool to apply. Aim for 250 to 400 milligrams of magnesium in your diet or supplement routine, ideally taken 30-60 minutes before bed. Here are some powerful food sources: pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, dark chocolate, 85% or higher, just a square or two, avocado, black beans, kefir or yogurt, or if you opt for a supplement, look for magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. Both are more bioavailable and gentler on the stomach than magnesium oxide. You can also use topical magnesium oil on the legs or shoulders. This not only bypasses the digestive system, which can become less efficient with age, but also directly supports muscle relaxation and sleep onset. Here's a simple bedtime stack that's supported by Neuroscience. 30-40 grams of casein protein for overnight amino acid delivery, 300-400 milligrams of magnesium from food or supplement, optional glycine or L-theanine, which further enhance sleep depth and nervous system relaxation. Together, these nutrients form a kind of bedtime recovery cocktail, supporting muscle protein synthesis, stress reduction, and more stable sleep cycles. And here's the empowering part. Many older adults assume that poor sleep, nighttime cramping, or gradual strength loss is just part of aging. But the science tells a different story. These are modifiable outcomes, meaning you can change them, often quickly, with the right inputs. By adding magnesium alongside casein, you're not just improving sleep, you're giving your muscles the neurochemical and hormonal conditions they need to stay strong, stable, and resistant to the march of time. By now, we've explored the physiology, nutrition, and behavioral science behind muscle preservation during sleep. Now, let's distill that into something actionable, simple, and powerful. A nighttime protocol that anyone over 60 can follow to protect strength and rebuild muscle every night. This isn't a complicated overhaul. It's a set of deliberate, science-based choices timed to match the body's natural recovery rhythm. Let's walk through it step by step. Step 1, stop eating 2-3 hours before your final protein dose. Why? Because giving your digestion a brief rest before consuming your final protein helps optimize amino acid absorption and reduces interference from other nutrients, like sugars and starches, that can spike insulin and blunt growth hormone release. Example, if you plan to go to sleep at 10 p.m., try to finish dinner around 7 p.m. Step 2, 30-60 minutes before bed. Consume slow digesting protein. This is the core of the protocol. As discussed earlier, 30-40 grams of casein protein provides a steady release of amino acids throughout the night. You can get this from 1 scoop of casein protein powder. Look for tilde 30 g of protein per serving. 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese plus 1 TPB ground flaxseed. 3/4 cup full-fat Greek yogurt plus a few walnuts or almonds. The combination of protein and healthy fats slows digestion, keeps blood sugar stable, and supports a calm transition to sleep. Step 3, add 300-400 milligrams of magnesium, whether through food or supplementation. This ensures you support deep sleep, muscle recovery, and hormonal balance. Natural option, a handful of pumpkin seeds, spinach sauteed in olive oil, or a few squares of dark chocolate. Supplement option, magnesium glycinate, gentle on digestion, or magnesium threonate, known to cross the brain barrier. Take this with or just after your protein intake. Step 4, dim the lights and avoid screens. Here's where behavioral neuroscience kicks in. Melatonin, your body's sleep initiator, is inhibited by blue light. Even with the perfect nutrients in place, failing to align your circadian rhythm can delay sleep onset and disrupt muscle rebuilding phases of deep sleep. Tool, Use dim, warm light and avoid screens for at least 30 minutes before sleep. Consider reading, stretching, or listening to calming music. Step 5, go to bed consistently and prioritize 7-9 hours of sleep. This is when your body executes the blueprint you just provided. The nutrients you consumed, the hormonal cues you shaped, they all rely on sleep duration and consistency to activate recovery pathways. A consistent bedtime strengthens your circadian rhythm and improves sleep architecture, especially stages 3 and 4, when growth hormone is released and tissue repair occurs. Classic activity and calm glycine, 3G, or calm the nervous system and promote sleep depth. Chamomile or reishi tea supports GABA activity and evening relaxation. Gentle stretching or 5-minute breath work activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Let's pause here for perspective. If you've been waking up feeling stiff, weak, or fatigued, it may not be aging. It may be that your nighttime behaviors haven't been aligned with your biology. This protocol gives you control. It's not about working harder or eating more. It's about eating smarter, sleeping deeper, and timing your inputs in a way that taps into your body's innate recovery potential. And here's the truth. Even if you haven't lifted weights in years, even if you feel like you've lost too much ground, your muscle can respond. Neuroplasticity and muscular adaptation don't stop at 60, 70, or even 80. They just need the right conditions. And those conditions begin before you even close your eyes. Let's zoom out for a moment. You've just learned that muscle loss after 60 isn't inevitable. It's negotiable. And the negotiations happen while you sleep. Each night, your body enters a repair cycle, guided by your circadian rhythm, fueled by nutrients, and directed by hormonal signals. But for that repair process to actually rebuild muscle, it needs a few specific ingredients. A steady supply of amino acids from slow digesting proteins like casein, supportive micronutrients, especially magnesium, stable blood sugar, and deep sleep architecture, consistent bedtime routines aligned with your natural biology. Let's quickly recap the science-backed tools we explored. Most muscle loss in seniors accelerates at night because of a lack of overnight nutrition and anabolic resistance. Consuming 30-40 grams of casein protein before bed can significantly boost muscle protein synthesis while you sleep. Common bedtime snacks, like toast, cereal, or fruit, may actually hinder muscle recovery due to their high-carb, low-protein profile. Slow gemoma proteins act as a drip feed of amino acids throughout the night, sustaining growth and repair. Magnesium supports sleep depth, hormonal balance, and muscle relaxation, and it's deficient in over half of adults over 60. A simple nighttime protocol, protein, magnesium, low light, and sleep consistency can transform your overnight recovery window into a muscle-preserving powerhouse. These aren't dramatic changes, but they're compound interest habits. Each night you apply them, your body shifts further into balance, more muscle retained, better sleep quality, stronger mornings. And that's what this is really about. Waking up stronger, not just in your legs or your grip, but in your mindset, your energy, your sense of agency, knowing that the actions you take today can reshape your body, improve your independence, and extend the quality of your life tomorrow. So here's your challenge. Tonight, pick just one habit from this episode to implement. Maybe it's a scoop of casein protein. Maybe it's swapping your cereal for cottage cheese. Maybe it's 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate with a cup of herbal tea. Whatever it is, do it intentionally, knowing that you're not just trying a health hack, you're training your biology to serve your strength. And if you found this valuable, if you want to keep learning how to apply neuroscience, physiology, and performance tools to your everyday life, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of people who aren't giving in to age, but who are growing through it with science, with self-respect, and with a deeper understanding of how the body and brain truly work. And I'd love for you to be part of that. Share your thoughts in the comments. What will you change tonight? Like this video if it gave you a new tool or insight. and hit subscribe because your strength journey deserves evidence-based support every step of the way. Thank you for being here. Sleep well, rebuild stronger, and I'll see you in the next episode.